Hey everybody, Brian from Bear Bull Traders here. It is Sunday, November 25th, just coming off this Thanksgiving holiday weekend in the US. I hope everyone out there had a great Thanksgiving, did some shopping maybe, and spent some good quality time with family and friends. So let's just take a quick look at the market. Last week, the market that was. And we'll start out by just taking a look at the market internals, which I like to do, check in with regularly. You can see here we're pretty bearish. You know, percentage of stocks below the 50 and 200 moving averages. They're simple moving averages, really down. Um, New lows, quite a bit of new lows compared to new highs. Um, just an overall very bearish sentiment and bearish internals in the market, which doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing for the longs. I mean, it could mean that things are getting so bad they're actually starting to get good. So um, we'll see what the week brings. And let's just take a look here now at the SPY daily. Kind of see the big run up we had through the year, sell off in October, double top here, and now we're back here. Looks like a double bottom. Whether it is a double bottom or whether we're going to head lower is, I think, the $100,000 question now. So let's take a look at the weekly here. You can kind of see here we're back in February lows. We're kind of at that support. Could go a little bit lower for further support, but we're kind of hanging in that range. If we break down here, we've got down here to go, maybe down here. So we'll we'll see what happens next week, because it's kind of an interesting pivotal week here. If we just continue lower, if this is maybe a place where we start to find some support and chop. Some of the stocks that have given us some great trading opportunities over the last couple of days. This is an ETF DWT inverse of the price of oil. Everyone knows, I think, the price of oil has been dropping significantly. The Iran sanctions, which were supposed to, I think everyone was thinking was going to be a big long event, turned into actually a big short event when all those countries got added to sort of an exclusion list, if you will. And so I think a lot of traders that were long, thinking this was going to spike oil, had to sell, and shorting. The shorters stepped in, and of course this is what happened. Oil got sold off pretty hard. DWT took a nice run higher, which I had some shares in. And UGAS was actually the opposite. It looked like what happened here was a huge short squeeze. We had I guess a lot of people short going into the winter, and then some forecasted colder weather, and next thing you know, we're getting a crazy short squeeze. This was just the epitome of panic buying by people covering their shorts, and of course the next day it dropped huge. But this was a massive move by UGAS. It was really almost untradeable up here, but without taking a lot of risk on, because you just didn't know when it was going to turn. But so you can see it made a huge run. So it would have been a good trade back here to get into, and you could have held some. But no one would have guessed it would have gapped up like that and gone. But anyway, the other trade I am looking at in the future right now is something that's another ETF called SJB. This is a short on high yield bonds, and I've been reading a fair amount of stuff about a lot of corporate debt coming due in 2019, interest rates rising. Some of the the yields on these high yield bonds are starting to creep up, and I think people are getting a little bit nervous about these I would say more risky assets. We talked about that last week, about how there is a sort of a flight to safety right now. People pulling positions on the more risky assets, and typically bond yields will go higher in a risk averse environment. So we'll see what happens here. Would have been nice to get into this trade around the 2280, and if we get a market rally, we may get back to that level. But it does look like it's putting in a bottom here, and I'll be watching this one for a maybe a long position on it. And it will be a longer term trade. I won't be looking to flip this over a day or week, or it could be months, or it could even stretch into 2019, well into 2019 if things keep moving the way I think they're going to move, where interest rates are going to move a little bit higher. Maybe we're going to have a little bit of a cooling economy, and people will stay out of the risky assets in favor of the safer havens. So could result in a nice run for this. So we'll see what happens. That's it, guys. It's my book, How to Swing Trade, Brian Pezim. I haven't checked it out already. It's on Amazon. Appreciate your support. If you had a chance to read it, appreciate a review. And we will see you in the Bear Bull trading room tomorrow morning, Monday morning. Bright, fresh, and bushy-tailed. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, what's left of it, and we'll see you tomorrow.